Good day, everyone. Class, let's talk about the popular types of cruise itineraries. I know that you are interested on to know what are those types of cruise itineraries. You never know, but one day you may avail also the cruise. I know that is quite expensive, but everyone wants it, right? Everyone wants to experience this kind of a once in a lifetime experience. Even me, I've been working in the cruise line industry for how many years, but I never got the chance to be a passenger. Now, how I wish that one day I can be a passenger, and of course, I can able to uh, enjoy my vacation. So let's start with the previous lesson that we have, the motivation why people cruise. Okay, we've discussed the last time all the reasons why people avail cruises. No, whatever price it is, what are those things that affect the price? If I would compare it today, the price of today is quite different from before, right? Before, it only varies on the season, it only varies on the stateroom or the upgrade stateroom, and then also with regards of the number of reservation. But nowadays, they have to consider also the reasons of ensuring the safety of all the passenger. That's why it might be an increased price or a lower price. It depends on the demands. Now, it also depends on the cruise line company if they will give an incentive for the upgrades, especially if there's a low demand. But if it's a higher demand, it might be, they might give in discounts, or they might give in a higher price because there's a low demand. And so there's a lot of reason why people are drawn to cruising. Before class, there's really a lot of reason that they really love to go for cruising. But nowadays, maybe 50% are thinking of if they going to go for a cruise or not, because for the reason that they don't know whether the cruise ship is prepared to ensuring the safety, and ensuring that there will be no virus that will be transmitted to everyone. So I think it is something that makes other people think of not going to a cruise, no, for this year. So we also have the different cruise package inclusion. Nowadays, there's a lot of package inclusion that is given by this cruise ship company because they are anticipating that it will decline the motivations and the demand from the passengers. So there are lots of roadblocks now that keep them deciding not to go for a cruise for this year. But since we do have already the vaccination, and I know that they are now preparing, since although we don't have any cure for this, but since we have the precautions already, and the vaccination is important, that everyone should be vaccinated when you go for a cruise. So I guess it will increase, no, the motivation of the people to cruise is can increase also by this year. And there's a typical clients on board that cruises depends on the different length. So there are some clients that like to have um, a vacation wherein if they are retired, of course they do have the all the time, no, like 2 weeks cruise, they can able to purchase that one. And also the world cruise, yeah, it depends on the people, depends on the target market of the cruise line company. If they target summertime, so it is usually during the vacation of the kids, so it's for family. But if it is for business purposes, so there's a lot of seasons for this, but basically majority of the passenger are all uh, from 40s to 60s years of age, because of majority from them are already retired. So let's talk about the learning objective here. The first is we need to identify the different types of itineraries. We need to understand the pre, post, and off-ship experiences, and of course, to know the different cruise packages, the intermediary port stops, and shore excursion. All right, let's look into the different types of itinerary. We have perennial, seasonal, and repositioning. But take a look on the different uh, description of these three and how it differs to each other. Okay, so let's identify each. And then we have the perennial. Perennial is the service year around because of the stable demand, and it's relatively constant from the weather condition. Like for example, in Caribbean, most of the time the weather condition in Caribbean is hot. It's summertime. So it's although they have rainy season because they are tropical country like us, but majority of all months, no, talagang sobrang init dyan. And the usual itinerary that they have is Miami, Florida, and that's the turnaround point, no. So the embarkation they happen in Miami, and then they go to Caribbean places, and then they have to go back to Miami. So that's what we call the perennial. It's a year round wherein it's a regular cruise that they cater. And also another example is Mediterranean. Mediterranean, what are those countries belong to Mediterranean? We have Turkey, um, we have Greece, and Egypt. So all this part are from the European countries, and the turning point here is Barcelona, and then around Mediterranean, and then go back to Barcelona. We have another type also, which is seasonal, and I know that you understand what this seasonal is. It is generally an important component of the demand in cruising because it implies a market, and this market usually because of summertime. So it depends on the season, but there are some of the region also like in somewhere in Asia wherein they had this four season like in Japan, and a lot of passenger would like to go Japan during the um, what they call this, the other season, not the winter time, but the winter autumn, yeah, the autumn. And so they have the four kinds of season, and every kinds of season in Japan, they used to have a lot of visitors. So I think it's really important to check on the different season, because the seasonal market can be also a reason why this passenger would like to visit a particular place. Okay, so we have also repositioning. Repositioning, it means that they are from. It is usually happen during the world cruise. It mostly takes place between season. From season, then they have to skip from that season, and they need to reposition from seasonal to perennial itineraries, or vice versa. Okay, and then we have the pre, post, and off ship experience. So what are those? We have the cruise packages. Cruise packages can add to the enjoyment of your cruise, because once it is packaged, so it is something that is worth it. When you pay for the cruise package, it is something that as if you get discount as well, because it is all in one stop shop, and these are known to be nearly on all inclusivity. You know, the cruise price often includes like dining options, accommodations, port fees, onboard activities, entertainment, and a lot more. So it depends on the cruise and whatever they would like to, you know, um, to put in one packages. Now they have we have many travelers nowadays choose to have these packages rather than do it, you know, separately. So but we need to investigate, no, what kind of cruise package, because there are times there are hidden charges, or we are not aware of. So we need to know first whether it is included or not, like for example the airfare or the hotel stay. So we need to know about that so we can be ready for that. So the pre and post cruise packages, they are often involved hotel stay. Okay, so there are some cruise company that they provide hotel stay, especially if you will be on that port ahead of time prior to the on the embarkation day. So depending on the cruise line, so there will be an option to add attractions and some tours, regional guided or sightseeing in the city. So they can do that. Some passengers prefer to do a package before the cruise, after all, and it depends. Still depends on the cruise ship company. So we have port experience and client types. So in ship and port experience is very much perceived according to the passenger likes and dislikes. So it's very important, class, that you know the likes of the passenger. So the shore excursion would do some survey, of course, what kind of itinerary that the passenger usually like. No, some cruise line even go as far, especially for the program for the children, because we all know that whenever there's a cruise, there are family. There are, I mean, majority of who avail the cruise are all for families, so they're also looking at that. So we have cruise travel for the physical challenge, so like for the sports and other activities. So to categorize the different guests on board, we have, of course, family, we have couples, we have singles, teens, kids, senior, and PW. These are important, class. These are important to know the different guests on board, because these are the target markets that we have. Okay. And then we will be talking about the cruise packages. So these are the intermediary port stops and shore excursion. So when the passenger arrive at each intermediate place visited, they have also, of course, an option. The first one is that they may purchase a shore excursion through the cruise line. So you have the option, actually, it's your choice whether you would like to avail the shore excursion or not. So inside the cruise line, or you would like to have that ahead of time or in advance. So they may buy a tour or activity from vendors who usually await them at or near at the dock. So usually the passenger do that. They don't avail inside the ship, but rather they used to avail it outside. It's an outside source. No, they may simply explore the port and its environment on their own. So it's another option. So you can able not to avail any kind of tour, but you rather do it in your own, especially for sightseeing purposes. If you really don't want to go for any tour, but just for to explore the city, just simple as that. Okay, they may also like to stay on board. Actually, there's a lot of things to do inside the ship. So if you don't want to avail any kind of tour anymore because you've been there before, and I think there's also an option for you to relax, get some sun in the swimming pool, and feel like everything is there already. So I think that's all. That would be all for today. And I've already mentioned everything about the different cruise itineraries. Thank you.